about that. Who knows? Who before today has heard of Patch? Okay, that's pretty cool. It makes me feel pretty good. Well, I'll give you the elevator pitch for those of you who don't know about Patch, and that is we are a hyper-local community online news resource. Diana, are you videoing me?
I am videoing you right now. No, I'm just holding my phone up because I thought really rudely I'd be reading my email. Right.
Yeah. Well, so, like I said, Patch is sort of a hyper-local online news resource. Our parent company is America Online. There are almost 900 patches across the country right now, and a lot of folks maybe haven't heard about us. That's because we just launched and we're just getting started. But the idea is that we're online, so we're able to be quicker with news. We're able to get news out more quickly, and we don't have a lot of the overhead that traditional news media have. And that is warehouses, printing, storage, heat, mortgage, a lot of the the physical costs associated with running a daily news operation. So yeah, and a little more history before I get into sort of PR. Our founder, Tim Armstrong, was living in New York and working in New York and living in Connecticut, and he came home one day and decided that he wanted to find a place to volunteer. So he called his daily newspaper and said, "Where should I volunteer?" And they said, "Why are you calling us? We don't know the answer to that." So he started his own website to try and figure out how to get people to go online and suggest their own ideas for volunteering. Hey, we need volunteers here, and kind of like a volunteer resource. So then he went on and took a job at Google, where he was the vice president at Google. And then he, in 2007, became the CEO of AOL. And his first order of business was to buy the company that he had founded, and that is Patch. And so he really wanted to develop that. And I have a background in newspapers. I worked at several newspapers in Northeast Ohio, daily, weekly. And we all sort of know that the brick and mortar model isn't sustainable. We all remember the layoffs in 2007 where newsrooms were just packed. And we've all seen the size of our newspaper go from pretty thick to pretty thin. And so Patch allows us to put our resources back into quality journalism, but it's online only. And so that's pretty neat. And so what that also means, and I guess that's a good segue into public relations, is that as the newspapers get smaller, there's fewer space for community news, and a lot of that has news from small businesses. Small business hosting an event. Vision 21 has awesome luncheons. I mean,
right on. Thank you so much for saying that on camera.
You bet. That might not make it in. I'm not saying that it wouldn't, but it might not make it in the print simply because of the lack of space. And that just is what it is. But what's neat about Patch is that folks can sort of take control of the content. In the old media model, you would have to get your press release, and you'd have to craft it, and you'd spend all this time, and then you'd essentially have to go to the editor and say, "Please publish my press release." And maybe not. I mean, I'm probably way off base, but
no, you're not.
Yeah, it's like, we really want to get some publicity. Can you please publish this event? And it's kind of frustrating, and if it doesn't get published, you think, I spent all this time for nothing, and why is this so frustrating? So what makes Patch so neat, and what I'm so excited about, is folks can take control of their content, and they can go online, sign in, get a free account, post their event themselves without having that filter, the editor filter saying, well, we just don't have the space, and well, this really isn't interesting, because it's interesting to someone. And just because it's not interesting to the editor doesn't mean it's not interesting to someone out there. And, there's no space limitations. Like I said, AOL is our parent company, so we use their servers. We have lots and lots of space. So we can put just about anything you want on Patch, as long as it's, within reason. but I mean, I only go through to make sure, I mean, you know, that there's no libel, that there's no spam, that, you know, that the site isn't losing its integrity. And so I go through to do that. And I'll tell you something else I do with the events. Once someone posts them, I'll go through, because I can't possibly field everything. Since there's so much coming in and I am no longer the filter, it just goes up. And there's no way that I could possibly do all this in the traditional sense of a newspaper where I have 5 people, you know, editing and rewriting press releases and sort of doing some of that stuff. That I'll go through, because now your event is going to appear on the front page. At a newspaper, you know, it might make the, you know, that corner in the bottom where they had the space after the story, that little itty bitty space with a super small headline. You're actually going to go right on the front page. So we have news done by me and a team of professional journalists over here. Then in the middle, I should just show you. Let me just show you. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Sure.
I was hoping you would.
Okay.
We've got a highly decorated computer. We are dying to see the other side of it.
Okay. So I just, can everyone see this? Is it kind
Sorta.
of close the blinds?
I got it. I got it right now.
Thanks, Jennifer. So I'm going to go.
There you go.
Go home.
Go home, would you?
And so here's Lakewood Patch. And it's loading. By the way, there are 10 patches on the east side of Cleveland and 10 on the west side right now. So if you go to patch.com, just generally patch.com, you can find where all the patches are in the country.
And there's a Lakewood, Washington, so you want to make sure you put Lakewood, Ohio.
Thank you very much. I probably driven so much traffic to that site. They love it. So here you have news. We update the news stories almost by the hour. So here we've got a restaurant review of Pier W. We've got, police blotter. We've got building preservation group meets, drive-through review gets underway, and then the news is there. And then check this out. These are all events right here on the front page. So as the events pass or end, they fall off the front page and the next event moves up. And so if you click on events, you get a full calendar of all the things: arts, business, elections, government, and so on. You can click there and kind of go through the calendar to see what's going on this week in Lakewood or next week in Lakewood. But on the day of, your event is going to pop up right there. And so that's pretty neat. It's right on the front page. You can't get better real estate than on the front page. And that's everyone. And so then over here we have some ads. Of course, we go on ads just like any other model. But there's also some interesting things, and that is our business listing. Anyone in here have a Lakewood business? Oh, awesome. Okay. Have you checked what's your business?
Mary Kay.
Mary Kay? Do you have an online listing? Let's see. I don't know if we have Mary Kay, but I think you could probably put it in.
Is Vision 21?
Yeah.
I'm in.
We should be on there, aren't we on there? I'm pretty sure we put ourselves on there. Let's find out.